So our next move, you can either use the toted plus or the toted yoga tune-up balls. You can always use the alpha for this. I prefer 2 balls. I like to have more surface area with this. This is called the Gluteal Plow. So I'm going to use my yoga tune-up ball pair here. For the Gluteal Plow, you'll want the yoga tune-up balls to find their way to the seam of where your gluteus maximus ends. So the maximus essentially ends in 2 places. It connects its way into the iliotibial band, and it also connects deep to the bone through a little tendon here at the back of the femur. But what we're going to look for is what's commonly called that saddlebag area, and I'll explain some saddlebag technology to you in a moment. But we're going to find a way to hook the balls right into the side of the tush, and essentially the balls are going to plow their way. They're going to act as a spatula and try to shift the entire glute complex over towards the sacrum. This is the glute relocation program. And so to do that, you'll recline, and right now the yoga tune-up balls are actually lifting this left glute up towards the right, and I can actually add my right hand to add some extra pressure and moving at a glacial speed here to try to help coax the balls towards the sacrum. Now, if when you put the balls on the side of your hip, you are ready to just jump out of your skin because it is so uncomfortable, my recommendation to you would be to do a contract relax technique, which is you breathe in, temporarily hold your breath, and then grip your glutes. And then on exhale, you'll let go. You take a breath in, you hold your breath, and then you activate the glutes, squeezing them, and then exhale, letting go. And you'll feel that the therapy balls are allowed to indent and to enter into the soft tissue more and more. It just gives them more permission to do so. You'll keep doing that. The balls naturally are going to roll a little bit because they are, well, it's a little ball log right now moving along your tush. But once they do roll quite a bit, we don't want them on our sacrum. We already busied our sacrum with the Gorgeous ball. Reset them and then let them slowly mold their way in. So you want to do this for about 2 minutes, and then you'll shift side. I think it's probably time to shift side. And this way I can tell you a little bit about some extra benefits of doing some gluteal plow. So you can see here I'm on my second side, and you can see probably, if I use the larger balls, you can see even more tushy smushy being lifted up, hoisted, right? Sort of buns towards the sacrum concept. Oh, it just feels amazing, contracting and relaxing along the way. So one of the reasons I like this move so much is, as you know, I talked about in the earlier intro, I had a total hip replacement at age 45 just a few years ago. And this was one of the moves for me that really helped me to mobilize that scar path that the surgeon took through my outer hip. And so this is a movement that I do on a regular basis because it gets the muscles firing my coxal joint. So the coxal joint is the name for your hip joint. It gets the muscles excited to fire away. So that sensory stimulus, that tactile stimulus, helps for the execution of the motor unit, the many motor units in there. But one of the other concepts behind putting your butt back on your butt, which this move does, is that the amount of sedentarism in our seated culture is toxic. I mean, we know that's one of the 4th leading causes of death now worldwide is sedentariness, and that sedentariness comes from being seated. But when we're sitting for hours on end without moving, what's happening is your glutes are in a chronic state of being stretched. And so if my tushy tissues, if the stuff behind my hip is being constantly lengthened, the fascial tissues are going to adapt to that need to be long. And so as they lengthen more and more, they become insufficient in being able to produce force around that joint. And not only do they lengthen, but they start to fall off center. They slough off to the sides. Hello, saddlebag, right? I don't like that term, but it makes a lot of sense now. When you think of these lengthened tissues, they start to fall off axis, and then when you're trying to activate the muscles, we're not really doing much of anything. So with the gluteal plow, we put our tushy back where it belongs, and then we can train it, we can exercise it in its more optimal position.